The first time Logan Chen set foot in the Manhattan Chess Club, nobody noticed him at all. 5 years later, they'd never forget him. But on that rainy Tuesday night, when he walked through those ornate doors clutching his weathered chess set, he was just another face, until the moment his hands moved across the board, revealing the storm that had always lived behind his quiet eyes. Before we dive into the story, comment below where in the world you're watching from. Logan Chen wiped his rain-speckled glasses on the hem of his dark grey sweater. The Manhattan Chess Club loomed before him, its stone facade illuminated by tasteful gold sconces. Inside, chandelier light spilled onto marble floors. Through the windows, he could see men in tailored suits and women in designer dresses circulating, with champagne flutes laughing with practiced restraint. He clutched his worn leather case tighter. Inside was his grandfather's chess set, the pieces carved from jade and ivory, passed down through generations. Not valuable by collector standards, but priceless to him. "Sir, the service entrance is around back," a doorman said, eyeing Logan's modest attire. "I'm here for the chess tournament," Logan replied quietly. "I registered online." The doorman's skepticism was evident, but he checked the list reluctantly. "Chen, yes, you're here. Through the main hall, room to the right." Logan nodded, slipping past. He was used to being overlooked. At 32, he worked as a night janitor at Columbia University, mopping floors while pursuing his mathematics doctorate during the day. His apartment was sparse, his wardrobe functional, but none of that mattered when he sat before a chessboard. The tournament room hummed with quiet conversation. 20 tables were arranged with tournament-standard chess, sets, timers positioned precisely. Logan found his assigned seat and carefully placed his grandfather's case on the table. "That's not regulation equipment," a crisp voice stated. Logan looked up to see a tall man with silver-streaked hair and a bespoke suit. A golden pin in the shape of a knight gleamed on his lapel, the mark of Maximilian Reeves, 6-time national, champion and the club's most celebrated member. "I'm sorry," Logan said. "I can use the provided set." Maximilian's eyes narrowed. "You're new here. What's your rating?" "I don't have an official one." Maximilian's smile didn't reach his eyes. "Well, the novice section begins in 20 minutes. This area is for advanced players only." "I registered for the open tournament," Logan said. "Did you now?" Maximilian chuckled. "Alexander, we have an enthusiastic beginner who's wandered into the wrong section." Alexander Barrett, the club president, approached with a practiced smile. "Perhaps you'd be more comfortable in our introduction group, Mr. Chender Logan Chen." "Mr. Chen, we take chess very seriously here. The open tournament includes former champions and titled players." Logan felt heat rising in his cheeks but kept his voice steady. "I understand. I'd still like to participate as registered." Alexander and Maximilian exchanged glances. "Very well," Alexander said finally. "But don't be discouraged when, well, if you need assistance, our staff can direct you to more suitable options afterward." They walked away, their quiet laughter trailing behind them. Logan took a deep breath, unpacked his chess pieces, and arranged them with careful precision. The jade pieces glowed softly under the chandeliers, each one smoothed by decades of his grandfather's touch. No one spoke to Logan for the remainder of the evening. He played 3 preliminary matches against club members who barely acknowledged him, their expressions shifting from indifference to mild irritation as he won each game with methodical precision. They attributed their losses to distraction or bad luck, not to the quiet janitor's skill. When the night ended, Logan packed his pieces and slipped out into the rain. His victories had gone unnoticed by most, except one person, Eliza Walsh. A young woman with bright eyes and a notebook had watched his final match with undisguised interest. "You're good," she said, falling into step beside him outside. "Really good." Logan adjusted his glasses. "Thank you." "I'm Eliza. I write for Chess Monthly." "Logan Chen. Why haven't I seen you compete before?" He shrugged. "I mostly play in the park. This is my first tournament." "Well, I've got a feeling it won't be your last." She handed him a card. "The club's hosting the regional championships next month. You should enter." Logan pocketed the card with a non-committal nod, but after she left, he couldn't stop a small smile from forming. Maybe it was time to step out of the shadows. The next time Logan entered the Manhattan Chess Club 2 weeks later, Alexander Barrett recognized him immediately. "Mr. Chen," he said, his tone suggesting he was addressing a persistent stray cat. "Back for another try? I'm here for practice night," Logan replied, showing his newly acquired membership card. "I've joined the club." Alexander's eyebrows rose. "Have you? How enterprising." The practice room was less formal than the tournament hall, with members engaged in casual games and analysis. Logan found an empty table and set up his board, hoping someone might offer to play. After 15 minutes of sitting alone, he noticed the glances. Curious, dismissive, occasionally amused. Finally, a young man approached. "Care for a game?" "I'm Thomas?" Logan, and yes, thank you. Thomas sat with the confidence of privilege. "I heard you won a few games at the preliminaries. Beginner's luck, I'm guessing?" Logan simply moved his first pawn. 20 minutes later, Thomas stared at the board in disbelief. Logan had dismantled his Sicilian defense with devastating efficiency. "That's not possible," Thomas muttered. "You must have memorized some obscure variation." "Would you like another game?" Logan offered. "No." Thomas stood abruptly. "I have other commitments." As Thomas stalked away, Maximilian Reeves appeared, examining the final position with clinical detachment. "Interesting approach," he said, not looking at Logan. "Though against a more experienced player, that knight's sacrifice would have backfired." "Spectacularly." "Would it?" Logan asked mildly. Maximilian's eyes narrowed. "Thomas is talented but impulsive. Don't mistake his carelessness for your skill." He walked away without waiting for a response, stopping to chat with a circle of club members who glanced Logan's way and laughed quietly. Logan reset his pieces, his face betraying nothing. A text vibrated his phone. "Eliza. How's practice night going?" "Educational," he typed back, Maximilian being his charming self. "You could say that." 3 dots appeared then. "Meet me at Riverside Park tomorrow, 2 p.m., chess pavilion. There's someone you should play." Logan pocketed his phone and continued setting up the board, even though no one else approached his table for the rest of the evening. The following day, clouds hung low over Riverside Park as Logan arrived at the chess pavilion. Concrete tables with inlaid boards stood in rows, most empty due to the threatening weather. Eliza waved from a corner table where she sat with an elderly man whose dark face was deeply creased with wrinkles. "Logan, meet Vincent." "Vincent, this is the player I mentioned." Vincent's eyes, clear and sharp despite his age, assessed Logan. "So, you've stirred up the hornet's nest at Manhattan Chess, have you?" "I just played a few games," Logan said. Vincent laughed, a rich, rumbling sound. "And won them all, according to my young friend here. Sit, play." Logan took the seat across from Vincent, who gestured for him to make the first move. As soon as Logan touched a pawn, he felt a shift in the air. Vincent's casual demeanor vanished, replaced by intense focus. 2 hours later, rain pattered on the pavilion roof as Vincent tipped over his king. "Well, well," he said softly. Eliza wasn't exaggerating. "You nearly had me twice," Logan admitted. "Nearly isn't winning." Vincent studied Logan. "I was Manhattan Chess Club champion for 7 years before Maximilian came along with his connections and his money. I wonder what he'll make of you." "He doesn't think much of me at all." "Good, let him underestimate you." Vincent began resetting the pieces. "The regional championship is in 3 weeks. Enter it." "I don't have the ranking. You can qualify through the open preliminaries next week. Win that and you're in." Logan hesitated. "I don't belong in their world." "Chess doesn't care about worlds, son. It only cares about the 64 squares and what you do with them." The preliminary tournament took place in the club's secondary hall, less opulent than the main room, befitting its lesser status. Logan arrived in his best shirt, still visibly worn at the collar. He felt the familiar stares but focused only on the games ahead. Eliza slipped into a seat near his first match. 32 players, she whispered. Top 4 qualify for regionals. Logan nodded, concentrating on his opponent, a college student named Marcus, with a nervous smile and quick hands. The game was over in 27 moves. He won his next 3 matches with similar efficiency, drawing a growing audience. By his semi-final game, Maximilian Reeves had appeared, watching from a distance with calculated disinterest. Logan's semi-final, Opponent was Richard Thorne, a retired investment banker with a methodical style and decades of tournament experience. "I've watched your games today," Richard said as they began. "Impressive tactical awareness." "Thank you, though I wonder if your aggressive style might be your undoing against a more patient player." For the first time that day, Logan found himself genuinely challenged. Richard's defense was formidable, turning aside Logan's usual attacking patterns with practiced ease. An hour passed, then two, the position growing increasingly complex. Logan leaned back, studying the board. His grandfather's voice echoed in his memory. "Chess is not just about the move you make, but the story you tell with your pieces." He saw it then, not a direct attack, but a subtle positional squeeze that would slowly constrict Richard's options. 15 moves later, Richard extended his hand in resignation. "Remarkable adjustment," he said. "You saw the weakness in my structure before I did." Logan smiled, genuinely pleased by the acknowledgement. As Richard left, Maximilian approached, examining the final position. "Congratulations," he said, the words somehow devoid of warmth. "You've qualified for the regionals, though I should warn you, the competition there isn't so accommodating." "I look forward to it," Logan replied. Maximilian's smile tightened. "Alexander tells me you work as a janitor at Columbia." "I do." "How quaint." "Well, the regional championship requires a certain standard of presentation. There's a dress code, formal attire only. I trust you can manage that?" Before Logan could respond, Alexander appeared with a photographer. "Mr. Chen, a picture for the club newsletter?" As the flash went off, Logan caught Maximilian's expression, the calculated assessment of a predator sizing up unexpected prey. "I'll see you at the championship, Mr. Chen," Maximilian said. "Do try to be prepared." The regional championship was housed in the club's grand hall, transformed for the occasion with television cameras, sponsor banners, and rows of spectator seating. 16 qualified players would compete over 2 days for the regional title and advancement to nationals. Logan arrived early, uncomfortable in a rented tuxedo that was slightly too large. He carried his grandfather's chess set in its worn case, a talisman against the intimidating surroundings. "You clean up nice," Eliza said, appearing beside him in a press badge and burgundy dress. "Nervous? Should I be?" "You're seeded 16th. Out of 16 because you have no official rating. First round you're playing Maximilian Reeves," Logan finished. "I saw the brackets," Eliza winced. "The committee claims it was random drawing, but..." "Here it doesn't matter," Logan said. "The pieces don't know who's moving them." The opening ceremony was brief. Photographs, sponsor acknowledgements, and then the first round began. Logan and Maximilian were assigned to the central table, under the brightest lights and the most cameras. "Your regulation set today, I see," Maximilian noted as Logan took his seat. "The club provided it," Logan replied. "Though I brought my own as well." Maximilian glanced at the worn leather case. "Sentimental value, I assume? How touching." The match began. Maximilian played white, opening with the Queen's Gambit, classical, respected, assertive. Logan declined the gambit and developed his pieces methodically, refusing to be drawn into the tactical complications Maximilian clearly preferred. An hour in, the position remained balanced. 2 hours, and Logan had secured a slight spatial advantage. Maximilian's facade of casual superiority began to crack, a tightening around the eyes, a barely perceptible tapping of his finger. In the third hour, Maximilian overextended, attempting to force a breakthrough that wasn't there. Logan punished the impatience with a devastating counter that left Maximilian's position crumbling. "Impossible," Maximilian whispered as he surveyed the damage. 5 moves later, he tipped his king, not meeting Logan's eyes. "Good game," Logan offered. Maximilian stood abruptly. "A fluke, nothing more." As Maximilian stalked away, the room buzzed with shocked whispers. The unranked janitor had defeated the 6-time national champion in the first round. Logan remained seated, calmly resetting. The pieces. He felt neither triumph nor vindication, only the quiet satisfaction of the game itself. Alexander appeared, flustered. "Mr. Chen, The press would like a statement about your unexpected victory. I played my best, Logan said simply. As did Mr. Reeves. Surely you must feel some sense of accomplishment. The cameras want a reaction. The game speaks for itself. Alexander's smile grew strained. This is a prestigious event with media coverage. Our sponsors expect a certain engagement from players. I'm here to play chess, Logan replied. Nothing more. The tournament continued. Logan won his quarter-final match against a young prodigy, then his semi-final against an international master. Each victory amplified the whispers. Who was this? Unknown player dismantling the established hierarchy. On the morning of the final, Logan entered the club to find a crowd of reporters waiting. He slipped past them with polite nods, seeking the quiet focus he needed before the match. In the preparation room, he found Vincent sitting alone. You've caused quite the commotion, the old man said, eyes twinkling. That wasn't my intention. Of course not. But sometimes the board reveals more than just chess skill. It reveals character. Vincent handed Logan a small carved wooden piece, a knight. This brought me luck once. Today it reminds you that sometimes the most valuable piece is the one that doesn't move in straight lines. Logan pocketed the knight with a grateful nod. The final match drew the largest audience in the club's history. Logan's opponent was Dmitry Petrov, a stoic Russian grandmaster with decades of international experience. The contrast was stark. Dmitry, in an impeccable suit with prestigious tournament pins adorning his lapel, Logan in his rental tuxedo, slightly frayed at the cuffs. As they shook hands, Dmitry's eyes held neither condescension nor fear, only professional respect. May the best player win, he said. The game that followed would later be analyzed in chess publications worldwide. Logan, playing black, employed the Sicilian defense with an obscure variation he'd developed during countless night shifts, mopping floors while working through positions in his mind. Dmitry responded with textbook precision, but gradually found himself navigating unfamiliar territory. By move 30, spectators were witnessing chess at its highest level, a complex middle-game battle where every piece told a story. In the critical moment, Logan executed a bishop sacrifice that seemed to defy conventional wisdom. A collective gasp rose from the audience. Dmitry spent 20 minutes analyzing the implications before accepting the sacrifice. 5 moves later, the strategic depth of Logan's conception became clear. His remaining pieces coordinated in a symphony of pressure that left Dmitry's king increasingly vulnerable. After 6 hours of play, Dmitry extended his hand. Beautiful game, he said with genuine admiration. You see patterns others miss. The room erupted in applause. Cameras flashed as tournament officials approached with the championship trophy. Alexander Barrett, visibly stunned, made the official announcement. The winner of this year's regional championship, Logan Chen. As Logan accepted the trophy, he caught sight of Maximilian watching from the back of the room, his expression unreadable. Their eyes met briefly before Maximilian turned and walked out. Reporters surrounded Logan immediately. How does it feel to win as an unranked player? What's your secret? Is it true you work as a janitor? Logan answered quietly, without embellishment. Chess has always been part of my life. I'm grateful for the opportunity to play at this level. Later, as the crowd dispersed, Eliza found him sitting alone, examining his grandfather's chess pieces. The chess world won't be the same after today, she said. You've been offered sponsorships, exhibition matches, coaching positions. Your life is about to change. Logan nodded, running his fingers over the jade knight. My grandfather always said chess wasn't about the glory or the title. It was about finding truth across 64 squares. And what truth did you find? He smiled slightly. That the value of a piece isn't in how others see it, but in the moves it can make. 3 months later, the Manhattan Chess Club hosted a special exhibition match between their new champion and a visiting international grandmaster. The club had changed subtly. Photographs of Logan now hung alongside past champions, and membership had surged with players hoping to learn from the quiet janitor who had become a chess sensation. Logan still worked nights at Columbia. though now he also taught afternoon chess classes for underprivileged youth, a program he'd started with his championship winnings. He still wore modest clothes and carried his grandfather's chess set, though now people recognized its significance, rather than dismissing it as shabby. Alexander Barrett approached as Logan prepared for the exhibition. "The club would like to commission a custom chess set for you, Mr. Chen, something befitting your position." "Thank you, but this one suits me fine." Alexander hesitated. "I should apologize for my initial assessment of your abilities." "No need. You judged what you saw. Most people do. Still, we're honored to have you represent the club now." Logan nodded, noticing Maximilian entering the room. The former champion had been noticeably absent since the tournament, his legendary status suddenly in question. Maximilian approached, his usual arrogance tempered by something like resignation. "I've been analyzing our game," he said without preamble. "Your bishop sacrifice was either madness or genius." "Sometimes they're the same thing," Logan replied. A hint of a smile touched Maximilian's lips. "Perhaps I wonder if you might consider a rematch for educational purposes." "I'd be happy to play any time." As Maximilian walked away, Vincent appeared at Logan's side. "Well, well, the king acknowledges the new order. Chess isn't about kings," Logan said. "It's about all the pieces working together." Vincent laughed. "A philosophy worthy of a true champion." As Logan took his seat for the exhibition match, he glanced around the room. The faces that had once dismissed him now watched with anticipation. The hands that had once refused his had now applauded him. The doors that had once barely admitted him now opened wide in welcome. But none of that mattered as much as the chessboard before him, the 64 squares where judgment fell away and only the truth of the game remained. In the world beyond the board, people would always make assumptions based on appearances, the janitor's uniform, the worn shoes, the quiet demeanor. But in chess, as in life, it was the moves you made that defined you, not the pieces you were given. Logan adjusted his glasses, made his first move, and smiled. Some talents cannot remain hidden forever. When they emerge, they don't just change how others see you. They remind you of who you've always been,